Today we're going to explore one of New York's oldest and strangest missing person mysteries, the disappearance of a young socialite named Dorothy Arnold. Dorothy was 25 years old, born into wealth, privilege, and high society. Her father was a well-known importer, her family lived on the Upper East Side, and she was exactly the kind of person newspapers like to photograph at parties. But despite all that comfort, Dorothy wanted something more than the life expected of an heiress. She wanted to be a writer. She'd been quietly submitting short stories to magazines and just as quietly getting rejected. On the morning of December 12, 1910, Dorothy left her family's home wearing a blue velvet coat and a stylish hat. She told her mother she was heading out to buy a dress for a party. Nothing unusual. It was a crisp, sunny day, and she walked down Fifth Avenue like she had 100 times before. Just before lunchtime, several people spotted her along the avenue. She bought chocolates at a popular candy shop. She stopped at a bookstore and picked up a copy of a new novel. A friend bumped into her on the sidewalk and chatted with her for a moment. Dorothy was calm, smiling, and said she was planning to walk home through Central Park. And then she vanished. When Dorothy failed to come home that night, her family panicked. But instead of calling the police, her father hired a team of private detectives because the Arnolds didn't want the embarrassment of a public scandal. They assumed she'd had an accident or was visiting a friend. They assumed it would sort itself out. It didn't. Days passed, then weeks, then months. When the family finally went public, the story exploded across the country. Newspapers printed Dorothy's face on the front page. Detectives searched boarding houses, questioned friends, and even dug up parts of Central Park looking for clues. At one point, her father personally traveled to jails, hospitals, and even morgues, convinced she had to be out there somewhere. But nothing, not a single confirmed sighting, ever turned up. So what happened to her? Over the years, 3 major theories have stood out. Theory 1, a secret romance. Dorothy had been quietly seeing a man her family strongly disapproved of, a rather unimpressive young man named George Griscom. Some believed she met with him, planned to elope, and something went wrong, but Griscom denied ever meeting her that day, and nothing linked him to her disappearance. Theory 2, a tragic accident. Central Park was dimly lit and dangerous in that era. Some believed she slipped on the ice, fell into the reservoir, or was attacked. The family spent enormous amounts of money searching the park, but no trace of her was ever found. And then there's the third theory. She walked away from her life on purpose. Dorothy struggled with rejection from her writing career. She felt stifled by society's expectations. Some think she used that December afternoon to disappear quietly and start over somewhere else. If that's true, she never contacted her family again. It would have been an incredibly difficult thing to do for a young woman in 1910, but not impossible. What makes Dorothy's case so compelling is the silence. Her bank account was never touched. Her passport wasn't used. No letters surfaced. No remains were connected to her. A woman from one of New York's wealthiest families stepped onto Fifth Avenue and simply dissolved into thin air. More than a century later, the mystery has never been solved. No official suspect has ever been named. No evidence has ever pointed definitively in any direction. And that's why the disappearance of Dorothy Arnold has remained one of America's most haunting unsolved cases. The story of a young woman who wanted more from life, took a walk through Manhattan, and vanished without a trace. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more incredible mysteries from history.